In the middle of the night, Hutch awakens to check up on his daughter and hears noise from the living room. He discovers that robbers have broken into his house and grabs a golf club to confront them. As he is about to contact the police, the robbers catch him and demand that he give them the cash. Hutch doesn't have much money with him because he uses a debit card, causing them to steal his watch. They also demand that he give them his wedding ring, and suddenly one of the robbers is attacked by his son. Hutch attempts to hit them while they are distracted, but he hesitates as something surprises him, and he tells his son to release the robber. He allows the robbers to escape freely, which causes his son to get mad. When he arrives at his workplace, his brother-in-law Charlie hears about the robbery and is curious why Hutch allowed the robbers to escape. Charlie encourages him to be heartless with those robbers and provides him with a pistol to keep his family safe. Hutch later talks with his father-in-law Eddie, who owns this place, about wanting to buy it from him. Eddie doesn't want to sell it, as he built this place up from nothing with his hands, but he will consider it if Hutch has a really great offer. In Hutch's office, his friend Harry wants him to talk about the robbery last night, and he gives Harry a detailed recap. It is revealed that the reason Hutch didn't hit the robbers is that he discovers their gun doesn't have bullets. Learning that the robbers only got a couple of bucks from Hutch, Harry thinks it could have been worse and encourages him not to do something crazy. When he arrives back home, he finds that his daughter lost her kitty bracelet and thinks the robbers might have stolen it too. His mood then changes, and he packs up what he needs to confront the robbers. He asks every tattoo shop for the robbers' location by showing them one of the robbers' tattoos. Eventually, he arrives at the tattoo shop that provided the service to the robber. They initially attempt to beat Hutch, but when one of the tattooists sees a tattoo on Hutch's arm, he panics and locks himself up in another room. Seeing that, the other tattooist's attitude changes, and they provide Hutch with the location of the robbers. Hutch quietly sneaks into the robber's house and threatens them to return his watch and kitty bracelet, but the man doesn't know which bracelet Hutch is talking about. As Hutch is about to end his life, he hears a baby scream and finds out the robbers have a sick baby. Hutch leaves the house remorseful and releases his anger toward the wall. While Hutch is taking a bus, he encounters a group of drunk Russians and unleashes all of his anger toward them. He manages to seriously injure them and walks his way back home. His wife Becca treats the wound for him, and he expresses his feelings toward her as they haven't embraced or shared a kiss in far too long. Since Hutch decides to become a family man, his wife doesn't like that cowardly version of him, and Becca never allows him to touch her since then. Cut to the Russian crime boss Yulian. He comes to meet the stakeholders of his company Obshak, and one of the stakeholders doesn't really think Yulian can carry a ton of cash after seeing him dance and sing earlier. Yulian then murders a guy in front of him to show how tough he is, and another stakeholder tells Yulian that the guy is also a stakeholder in Obshak. They accept Yulian as their equity, and suddenly Yulian gets a shocking phone call from someone. It is revealed that one of the drunk Russians that Hutch beat on the bus is Yulian's brother. He is upset to know that his brother won't be able to walk again. He bursts out in anger upon finding out that only one man did this to his brother and his men. Curious about where to find Hutch, one of his men shows him Hutch's card. Hutch later receives a phone call from Harry, who informs him that he has a big problem as one of those guys he beat last night was a brother of Yulian. Realizing Hutch doesn't give a damn, Harry advises him to ask the barber about Yulian's background. When he arrives at the barber shop, he meets Banyan, who tells him everything he knows about Yulian and reveals the most important thing to him is Obshak. Yulian has his expert hacker assistant investigate Hutch for him. She found the location of Hutch's father, but it isn't enough for Yulian, so he orders her to find something more important. She then hacks into her friend's computer who works at the Pentagon, sending him his compromising pictures and threatening to release them to his family if he doesn't provide her with everything about Hutch. She panics once she realizes who Hutch is and informs Yulian that she's quitting the job. Later that night, while having a great dinner with his family, Hutch notices many cars coming toward his house and gets everyone into the basement. He turns the lights off, and the fight then begins. Meanwhile, Hutch gets shocked with a taser, and they take him to Yulian. While Hutch regains his consciousness, he finds himself in the car trunk and manages to get his hand out of the cuff. He finds a fire extinguisher and activates it, causing the car to collapse. Hutch and one of the men still remain alive, and Hutch is surprised to find a black Russian among them. As the guy wonders who Hutch is, he tells his story until the guy is out of breath. He makes his way back home and asks his wife to take the kids somewhere safe. He then collects his gold and tells Yulian's men the story of him and Allen. In the past, he was hired to kill Allen because he had skimmed $3 million from a US military base. But as Allen begged Hutch to spare his life and promised to change, he allowed Allen to go. A year later, he found that Allen was living his best life with his wife and 2 kids. In that moment, he also wanted what Allen had, so he decided to retire from being a killer and become a family man. However, he finds his daughter's kitty bracelet dropped under the couch and burns the house along with the men. 2 of Julian's men go to see Hutch's father David and attempt to kill him, but they don't know the old man was an FBI agent. David already saw this coming and put them to sleep. Hutch comes to his workplace and offers all of his gold to his father-in-law to buy the place. Charlie protests since he and his father put everything into it, but his father doesn't give a damn and makes a deal with Hutch. As the place is now his, he sets up traps everywhere to prepare for the upcoming confrontation with Julian. Harry is mad that Hutch is really at war with the Russian crime boss and remarks that he will not come out of hiding to save him. Knowing that half of Julian's life is his company, Hutch goes to Obshak and burns all of the money. During Julian's performance, he notices Hutch watching his show while enjoying a meal. Julian praises Hutch, saying he has some nerve to be there. But as Hutch has a bomb with him, Julian wouldn't dare to do anything and orders his men to retreat. Hutch and Julian have a brief talk, and Julian bursts out in anger when Hutch reveals he burned Obshak. Hutch allows Julian to come after him, telling Julian that if he succeeds in taking him down, he will still be obliged to refinance the entire Obshak. When the talk is over, the chase then begins, and Hutch lures Julian to his place. Surprisingly, Harry and David also join Hutch. They save him from Julian's men while he is down, and a shootout occurs. As Harry gets shot and everyone runs out of bullets, Hutch comes out and detonates the bomb, taking Julian with him. However, he receives only a little damage since the glass shields him. He thanks Harry and David for risking their lives to join him. He then leaves a sweet voice message for his wife and gets interrogated by the FBI. 3 months later, he and his wife come to visit their new house. Meanwhile, Hutch receives a concerning phone call from someone and asks the guide if this house has a basement.